how much you're going to have to say no to in your life just to reach your potential, to access and to start living your potential. You're going to start understanding because so many things, like life really is about shedding the lies and the misbeliefs that we've accumulated since we were a child. And in order to achieve your potential, you're going to have to let go of all of them. And what you're going to have to realize is that I can actually put my energy into all of the things that life throws me, right? All the things that don't deserve my energy. And when you really access your potential, then you see that everything else doesn't deserve your energy. And that your energy can only be directed in this one path, in this one path only. Nothing else matters, right? And so if you're a great speaker, if you really love to speak, if that's like sort of your thing, you realize, oh, I can't put my energy into what words I'm going to choose or how I'm actually going to say something. I can't. It actually robs you of your potential, right? Same thing with drawing or singing or any other art or craft. You actually realize that the best work that you do is actually when you're not thinking. So you have to abandon your mind like completely, which is so strange and ironic, right? You would think like, oh, like, my whole life I've been thinking about how I'm going to do this. And really when you live your potential, you realize that you actually have to shed all of it. And you can't go to your mind for anything. And maybe up until this point you've experienced that on the outside, right, on the external, you've had to let go of a lot of things in your life, right? You haven't been able to hang out, you've had to change your lifestyle, right? You now eat clean, you have to sleep on time, you have to exercise, like all these things in your day have to be in line and have to be aligned in order for you, like, the basic things like sleep, exercise, diet, like these things have to be in place in order for you just to access your potential in your mind, to access your best work, to access, like, your brilliance. You have to be aligned. And these things have to be aligned, these simple things on a daily basis. And it's like, if those things aren't in alignment, then I don't get to access my brilliance. I don't get to access my potential. And so it's like, you become very, very strict about, how you spend your energy, right? Um, Not only the things in your, right, like the external things, but literally your just daily habits and daily routines. You become very, very strict. It's like, I'm not going to eat that thing. I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to think that thing. I'm not going to have that conversation. I say no to 99%, right? If it doesn't help me, if it truly doesn't help me, if it's not going to help me grow, right? If it's not this path, right? If it's not directly helping me on this path, I say no to it. And I could say yes to everything that life throws me. I could, like, say yes to like the huge discrepancies and, in the awareness between me and my mother. I could just literally, and so much of this I've literally had to let go because my ego was just so, my nervous system was wired to hers. And so every single moment there was like, something that I could, get at her for or correct her for or like call her out on. And I realized, gosh, my entire potential could be directed in just this one relationship with her. And it wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't amount to anything. Because truly, when you're living your potential, then your energy goes where it's received, right? There's no resistance. It's going to flow to the people who need it. And so if you're directing your energy to somebody and you see like, oh my gosh, they're not open, they're not, receptive to it, then you're not living your potential, right? You're in the wrong situation. Get out, right? And even if you live with that person, right? You're living with your parent, or you're living with your family member, and you realize, oh my gosh, like this is not, like there's so much here that is robbing my energy. That's how you know, like, gotta every single moment, gotta cut that cord every single moment. You become trained in this. Like every single moment, I'm cutting that cord. Every single moment, I'm not letting myself go there because you can't. You cannot go there. You cannot give in to the temptations. The temptations will be there. And don't think that the temptations are just, drinking and, alcohol and drugs and sex and booze and food and, like, going out and chilling and all these things. The temptations are the ones that are in your life, that are closest to you. Those are the temptations. And those are the ones that you have to rise above. And when you start living your potential, you realize I gotta say no, right? I can't let myself go there. I can't. And truly, when you're living your potential, right? When you're doing what you love and, you're actually making an impact, right? You see that your being just doesn't like just, when you're doing what you love, automatically you're not spending your energy on the things that, that are less than the things that really don't work out well for you, the things that, situations that people are not receptive to, they're not open to, they're just not ready for it, right? This whole time you were pushing them, or you're pushing your understanding or knowledge upon them, and then you see like, oh gosh, like, that's not where my energy is meant to go. That's what you learn from that. And with great power comes great responsibility, and that's one of the things that they mean, that you have to know how to wield your power and where to wield it. You can't wield it with the people that ultimately don't deserve it, right? They're not open to it. They don't deserve, so they don't deserve it, right? And in that sense, right, in that moment, it's not for them. And so you wield it where, because there are masses and masses of people that are waiting to benefit from your power. You have to realize where to direct it and how to direct it, right, to those people. And that should be your goal, because that's when you're living your potential. It's not when you try to, impose your knowledge or understanding on somebody who isn't ready. It's when you actually direct it to the people that need it, and you allow it to flow, and that interaction is receptive, that interaction is free flowing, that interaction is productive. And it could be communicating on a large scale like this, right? Or it could be somebody that you meet on the street that's like very open and receptive. You'll know when you start living your potential. You'll be able to have enough contrast. You'll be like, oh, okay, this person actually gets me. Like the being just behaves in this way. It's a very natural thing. All right. And sort of these imbalances in us that we're sort of pushing and imposing our knowledge on somebody else that wasn't ready. It's an imbalance in our own psyche, right? It's like something in me, like, again, my nervous system was wired to my mother's. And so every single thing about her would trigger me, and then I would have to like fix it or correct her or try to, right? And it never worked. It never works from that place. It never works from the imbalance in your own psyche, because you're operating from your wounding and you don't realize it. And so your job really is to direct your energy now to the thing that makes you feel good, the thing that makes you feel best, which AKA is living your potential. And when you do that, you'll see, oh my gosh, the other things in my life will sort of neutralize more and more. And, I'll laugh and joke with my mom. I'm going to correct her less, and I'm sort of just going to slap her on the, butt, and just like, make it really funny, I'm not going to try and go that route, because I see it's not productive, and it actually doesn't make me feel my best, right? So maybe I just let her slide with whatever it is that she does or believes, right? As long as I'm okay, as long as I'm safe, right? So you realize, like, you can literally meet people at their level, and that's what it means to meet people at their level. I don't have to correct them. I don't have to, impose myself or my knowledge. I could have the very answer for them. I could know what they're experiencing. I could know what they're going through. Maybe I've been through it myself, right? And still I don't have the right to impose it on them. And this is what you realize, right? Like, if you're in tune with your own being, then what that really means, I don't have the right. Like, you can actually feel that in your own being. Like, this interaction doesn't feel good for me. It's not productive for me. But I don't feel my best, because like something in me senses, like, I can sense this person has resistance. And there's so many conversations that I've had with people, or so many times where I've experienced no resistance, right? I've experienced complete openness, right? And we're on the same wavelength. So when somebody isn't on the same wavelength as you, right? Take a different path, right? Don't impose, right? Try something different with them, right? Maybe it's not your job to correct them. Maybe and that's really what it means to have great power, right? You don't exercise your power in just any moment. You exercise it in certain moments. You exercise it, in true moments, and in moments that are completely aligned. And that's when, your life becomes more aligned, right? You have like a sense of like, okay, like, something in you just knows like, okay, this person is open and receptive, and the conversation just happens naturally, right? And the help and the effort, and they're actually looking for your help. They're seeking your help. They're asking you questions, like something in them just already is receptive to it. So you stay that course, right? You continue to have those kinds of interactions that are productive, right? Not the kind of ones that are sort of like hoarding your energy, and you're like, oh, this is not going anywhere. But you spend your life trying to fix those situations that really don't need to be fixed because you're operating from your wounding. So you think you have to fix them. And really what you have to do is just start living your potential. Put your energy into the thing that feels good and direct all of your energy there. Just keep doing that. Keep doing that. And these little things, like the other situations, will like start to feel easier. They'll start to feel easier. And then you'll have enough contrast in your state to be like, oh, okay. Like that thing that I was doing before is a see, right? I see, like, that person isn't open, receptive, and they don't need to be. It's not their job to be. Like they don't have to be, right? If they're not, then they don't have to be. In the same way, you guys, I don't have to impose. Like I don't have to share my knowledge with everybody, right? It doesn't come from like self-preservation, although like some of it can just really be like, I understand I shouldn't put my energy there, right? It's not productive. But it's like just a very simple thing. Like, I don't have to do it. I don't have to. The same way I don't have to, eat watermelon every day, or the same way I don't have to, you know, um, go barefoot on the grass if I don't want to. Like, I just don't have to, right? You just, you don't have to do. It's a very simple thing.